Hello everyone, this is Jason from Primetime Aquatics, and in this video we are going to be comparing two different types of filters. One is the hang-on back filter, the other is the internal canister filter. Hope you enjoy the video, appreciate you being here. So these are the two types of filters that we're going to be comparing today, the hang-on back filter versus the internal canister filter. We're going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of each, and hopefully by the time you get done with this video, you're going to have a better understanding of which one is going to fit your needs the best. Now, I think one of the main differences between these two filters is obviously the look on your fish tank. A hang-on back filter, as the name implies, is going to sit on the back of your fish tank. The only thing you're going to see inside the tank is this intake right here. The internal canister filter, like this, and by the way, there are ones that come in a much smaller size, but the internal canister filter, the look is going to be a little bit different because this whole thing is going inside of your tank, and so the entire filter is going to be visible. For some people, that's not something they want to see, and so a hang-on back filter is a better way to go if you don't want to see a lot of your filtration components inside of your fish tank. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the filtration aspects of both of these types of filters: mechanical, biological, and chemical filtration. When it comes to biological filtration, the ability of the filter to provide surface area for beneficial bacteria to grow, both of them are capable of housing plenty of biological media, and so I don't think there's really much of a difference between the two. When it comes to chemical filtration, using something like carbon inserts or ammonia lock, both of them provide that opportunity as well. When it comes to mechanical filtration, being able to pull particulate matter out of the water to make your water appear clearer and cleaner, I think there is a slight advantage to the internal canister filter only because of water flow. The ability of this filter to push water horizontally across the tank, get better water circulation, and therefore I think you're going to get slightly better mechanical filtration from your internal canister filter compared to your hang-on back. Now, when it comes to maintaining the filters, there is another fairly big difference. Both of them are relatively easy to maintain, but for the internal canister filter, this is going to be inside of your tank. Usually filter maintenance for these is being done when you do water changes, and then this thing comes off as we've already demonstrated, and you can simply change out the media, get your own filter floss. We've done videos on that before. I'll put that in the upper right hand corner as well as in the description below, which can save you a lot of money for both types of filters. But it's just a matter of changing the media, reassembling this thing, and then putting it back in your tank. Usually these things will attach to the side of the fish tank via suction cups. Now, as you might imagine, the hang-on back filter might be a little bit easier to maintain because all we have to do is remove the top of the hang-on back filter. Usually there is some filter cartridges. Again, you can use your own filter media for these things. Simply swap it out very quickly and you're done. The nice thing about this is you don't have to go inside the tank to change out the media, and therefore maintaining hang-on back filters tends to be a little bit easier. Now, what about the cost? This happens to be a Marineland internal canister filter, and right now on Amazon, these things are going for right around $63 or so. This is going to push through about 290 gallons per hour and is rated for up to a 90-gallon tank. A similarly sized hang-on back filter from Marineland, the Marineland Pro 275, is going to be pushing 275 gallons of water per hour through that filter. So just a little bit less than this, but it's almost half the cost at around $35 at the making of this video. And so when it comes to cost, a lot of times the internal canister filters are going to be a little bit more expensive than the hang-on back filters. Now, I think the internal canister filter has one big advantage, and that is water flow. The hang-on back filter has one inherent design flaw, and that design flaw is you have an intake where the water is going to enter the filter, and then the return at the top is right next to the intake. And so essentially what you have is a filter that is spilling water into the tank, and the intake is right next to the return. With the internal canister filter, that is a very different situation. Usually these things are placed on the side of a tank, and you can see here one big advantage is I can adjust this water flow up or down. I can adjust it side to side. Not only that, the intake is in the back of the filter. The return is going to shoot water across the tank, and you get much better water circulation throughout the horizontal water column as opposed to this, where you're mostly getting water circulation vertically. And so this does a much better job of making sure that the water is circulating throughout the tank. And by the way, if you are looking for more information about different types of filters, check out the description below. We're going to put plenty of comparisons down there. We've compared just about every type of filter you can imagine. So if you want more information, check that out. Perhaps another advantage for the internal canister filter compared to the hang-on back filter is noise. Hang-on back filters, especially ones where the impeller is outside of the tank, tend to make a little bit of noise. You're going to hear them from time to time. Now, that problem can be alleviated if you have a hang-on back filter where the motor and the impeller are internal. They're in the tank, such as the Marineland Pro series and the Seachem Tidal series. Those tend to be very quiet hang-on back filters. But for the rest, if they don't have that internal motor and impeller, you might hear a little bit of noise coming from them. The internal canister filter, on the other hand, the entire filter is in the water, and so in our experience, they are absolutely silent. So if you're dealing with a tank that is going to be in an area where you would really rather not hear the filter, this internal canister filter might be the way to go. Another advantage of the internal canister filter compared to the hang-on back filter is there is no opportunity for this filter to put water onto your floor. Because the entire thing is inside of your tank, there's no worries about leaks or having the water flow like this would potentially in an intake and overflow the back of your hang-on back filter. While that is relatively rare and we've had it happen very, very few times, there still is a possibility anytime you have a filter where water is being removed from the tank into the filter compartment and back, there's always a chance that water could wind up leaking. Now again, it's relatively rare, especially with the hang-on back filter, but there is zero chance of that happening with an internal canister filter. Now when it comes to reliability, that really is brand dependent. And if you buy a quality internal canister filter or hang-on back filter, I think the reliability is about the same. Now taking all those things into consideration, which one do we prefer in our fish room? Well, for the most part, we run sponge filters on all of our tanks because of the size and the number of tanks that we have. But if we had much fewer number of tanks and we were looking at filtering each tank individually, we would most likely choose the hang-on back filter over the internal canister filter for some of the reasons I've already mentioned. One, they're generally going to be cheaper when you compare gallons per hour for each type of filter. Two, I really prefer not to look at my filtration inside of the tank. And the hang-on back filter, the only thing you're going to see is the intake. I love the fact that they are easy to maintain. One of the biggest reasons why we stick with hang-on backs over internal canister filters when we have to run those types of filters. And so that's why on our tanks, when we need to have extra mechanical filtration, the hang-on back filter is the way that we generally go. All right, everyone, if you want to learn more about different types of filtration, check out this playlist in the upper right-hand corner. If you want to learn about some of the specific reviews that we've done on hang-on back filters, internal canister filters, check out the playlist in the lower right-hand corner. If you've got an opinion, which one you like better, leave that in the comments section below. Appreciate you being here, and we'll see you in the next one.